Please welcome Mr. Hemant Kumar Soni. Welcome, sir.
Sir, you are not audible, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. I think now I should be audible.
Yes, yes, sir. Now
Yes,
audible,
sir.
sir.
So, good evening to you all, and thanks to Dr. Hari Singh Gaur University for giving me an opportunity to speak to you all. And um, I have been given this session on circular economy and its role in green energy transitions. Now, actually, I'm not an academician, and I was just going through the biodata about the details of the participants, and I could see a number of doctors and I think academicians in the group. So I don't have that exposure, but I have a approach of a practitioner. So I have made a small presentation of 10-15 slides in which I hope that I should be able to convey what I want to say. And secondly, I also think that I should be able to relate to the current activities of RBI with this circular economy and overall non-conventional sources of energy and the role of how RBI has been encouraging green financing. I should be able to relate to that. So basically, as you all know, what is a circular economy? So a circular economy is an economic model designed to minimize waste and make the most of resources. Unlike the traditional linear model, where we make materials, make products, and throw them away after they have been fully used, So instead of a linear model, which is like a line, here the stress is on having a circular economy where the end joins the beginning. So that is basically the concept of a circular economy, in which the idea is to reduce, reuse, and redesign. I'll be coming to the definitions of this thing that are given in the standardized contents. So reduce, reuse, and regenerate. Basically, these are the concepts of circular economy. Here, as you can see, in a circular economy, which is the innermost circle, it has got three immediate outer layers. One is production and processing, then consumption and use of those products, and then collecting after the consumption, collecting whatever remains. And just give me a sec. Yeah. So collecting and processing those contents which remain after the consumption has been done, and then try to use them again for production and processing. So here, the first thing is designing the first step would be like designing better products, where it is expected that after consumption, the remains will be less or almost no remains.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, can you make your presentation full screen?
Yes. I think it should be do that. F5 should do the trick, isn't it? I hope you can see it now.
Yes, sir. Now it's full screen. Thank you, sir.
So the first step would be like relating with the designing of better products. So in which the scope for the production process itself is designed in such a manner that after consumption and use of that product, the remaining part is very less or almost nil. So the waste is reduced to the maximum possible. Then next is optimizing the life cycle through alternative consumption. Just one sec. Then promote reuse of that product. I would be giving some example of the government schemes also. Then whatever remains, after using the product, so that collection has to be improved. And then whatever has been collected is recycling of that product is encouraged. And that is invested in the infrastructure. And then we try to develop the markets for recycled material. And then again, the cycle gets completed and use that recycled material for designing of better products or for similar or some other type of products. But then the idea is to minimize the wastage and reuse that wastage basically for production of new things, so that you don't have to throw away anything. That is the basic idea of a circular economy. The circular economy is crucial for sustainable development as it minimizes waste, conserves resources, and addresses environmental challenges like climate change and biodiversity loss. Because as you might have seen, in the linear system of production, there is a lot of waste is generated, and that waste is sometimes hazardous. It is difficult to process that waste or dispose it. Disposing that waste is also difficult. So the environmental challenges emerge. For example, you might have seen that and they show it when you do international travel. They show that the emission out of the aircraft is so much, and that is equivalent to so many tons of air pollutant has been released in the air, and that is equivalent to so many such large sink of equivalent of carbon dioxide. So basically, circular economy tries to address those issues. I'll just connect this with this slide with I had prepared a Again, I don't know whether you can see this PowerPoint presentation. Not PowerPoint, this Word file. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here I just wanted to add a few points to what has been said in the PowerPoint presentation. That the circular economy is built on three main pillars. So these three pillars are eliminating waste and pollution. So that designing of the products in such a manner that I had discussed, so that the waste is not created in the first place. So, for example, using the biodegradable packaging or avoiding toxic chemicals. Second is to circulate products and materials, keeping materials in use at their highest value through reuse, repair, remanufacturing, and recycling. For example, if I recall correctly, the packets being used by Amul for packing their milk, they can be reused. So one example, incidentally, I visited their manufacturing process, and then probably they were telling this. Third main pillar of the circular economy relates to regenerate. So moving away from a take and deplete mindset to one that supports and restores natural ecosystems. So basically, for example, like returning nutrients to the soil. So probably in the olden days when the manure was used in the fields, in the rural areas, these days more chemicals are used. So in those times, actually, the returning of the nutrients to the soil, that concept used to work. Why it matters is because transitioning to the circular economy isn't just about being green. It offers significant economic benefits like cost savings, because it reduces the need for raw material. So overall, your production cost is lowered. Then supply chain resilience. Businesses become less dependent on volatile raw material prices and geopolitical disruptions. For example, India is a large importer of fertilizers. So if we are able to, if I ask you to go to point 3, because India is dependent on India imports a lot of crude as well as our these chemical fertilizers. So to that extent, your costs are saved and your supply chain is ensured. Then because you are able to produce the things locally, new industries emerge in repair, refurbishment, and high-tech recycling. The circular economy and the green energy transitions are two sides of the same coin, because ultimately everyone tries to move from the old methods of using it to green energy transition. But then the circular economy is like a circular methodology that I just explained, and green energy transition actually is a linear process. So while green energy moves us away from the fossil fuels, like moving to the non-conventional sources of energy, the circular economy ensures that the physical infrastructure needed for that transition, like wind turbines, solar panels, and batteries, that doesn't create a new environmental crisis of resource depletion and waste. A green energy transition is remarkably material intensive. To reach net zero goals, as you might have seen, I'll be discussing here also as Panch Amrit. We have decided, Government of India has decided to reach the net zero by 2070. So to reach those goals, the World Economic Forum estimates that we will need a 6-fold increase in mineral inputs by 2040. The circular economy bridges the gap between this massive demand and the finite supply of Earth's resources. So this is actually the importance of green economy. Sorry, circular economy. Now, here I happen to get some information, like in 2026. In 2026, we stand at a historic inflection point. Renewables energy sources led by solar and wind are projected to surpass fossil fuels as the world's largest source of electricity generation for the first time. So basically, the conventional sources of energy like crude, fossil fuels, but they now contribute a lower percentage to the overall production of energy. That is because the new researches have improved the conversion ratio, and also the costs overall have come down because commercial production has started to a large extent. So this is like economic transformation, because one of the factors is like solar photovoltaic costs have plummeted, have reduced by around 80% over the last decade, making renewable energy the most cost-effective energy option globally. Secondly, the era of climatic commitments has evolved into large-scale industrial deployment and execution. Now, because as you might be aware, almost all the countries are signatories to the accords, Environment Conservation Accords, that COPs, that's called. So So being signatories, they have got NDCs, nationally determined commitments, I think. So as per those commitments, all the nations are under, and they have been mandated to improve the efficiency of their industries and also reduce the pollutants. Then energy independence. Now, geopolitical tensions have accelerated the urgent push for national energy sovereignty and security. As you might have seen, very recently, US, they have taken away the president of Venezuela. So ultimately, that boils down to, because Venezuela has got world's highest reserves of petroleum, crude. So they may be saying anything, but then it ultimately boils down to that. So that is why the circular economy is very important. It actually short circuits. It reduces the distance between where we are now and where we want to go, by encouraging more research and also putting that research into production. Now, coming to the technological innovations helping circular economy. One of the recent sources is the green hydrogen surge. Breakthrough electrolyzers achieving 95% efficiency, like this model. I'm not aware about the model, so I won't be able to discuss anything about it. And so these breakthrough electrolyzers are making green hydrogen economically viable for hard to decarbonize sectors, including steel production, cement manufacturing, and maritime shipping. And another advantage of that, if you recall this circle, here the promoting reuse part, this becomes important, because in the green hydrogen technology, the final output is water. So there is actually, that can be used again in either in the same industry or in different industry. So the point I'm trying to make is circular economy actually encourages the use of technology in such a manner that after the production has been done, the remains is a very useful thing, or there are no remains. Then the other technological innovations are photovoltaics. These are floating solar installations. They reduce the water evaporation while gaining 15% efficiency boost from natural water cooling effects. Now, here also, basically, I have seen such establishments in our country, where because the photovoltaic cell is floating over the water, so the difference of temperature at the surface and beneath the surface and in the water, so that difference of temperature actually is quite substantial, resulting in providing coolness of water, and also it improves the transmission of photovoltaic generation of electricity. Then urban wind power. So vertical axis wind turbine designed specifically for rooftops capture omnidirectional city winds in dense urban environments, basically taking advantage of the wind speed. Now, Government of India also is encouraging these things by providing suitable incentive scheme, particularly for installation of the solar photovoltaic cells. Then another point relates to sodium-ion batteries and thermal storage systems, like some name has been given. So sodium-ion batteries and thermal storage systems provide reliable 24/7 power for energy-intensive AI data centers, because AI data centers naturally they need continuous supply of power, and so this can be, these new research batteries actually can be a major source of storage of power. Coming to next. Just give me a sec. Then taking the help of artificial intelligence in circular economy. So artificial intelligence and digital technologies are becoming the central nervous system of modern energy infrastructure, enabling unprecedented levels of efficiency and resilience. So artificial intelligence serves as the grid brain, where the machine learning algorithms manage the complexity of a decentralized bidirectional energy flows across millions of connection points in real time. Then there are also virtual power plants, which aggregate thousands of home batteries, solar systems, and EV chargers into unified virtual batteries that balance grid demand dynamically. Because depending on the time of the day or night, and depending on the season, actually the demand for power varies. As a result of that, these virtual power plants actually become important. Then virtual replicas of wind farms and grid infrastructure enable predictive maintenance, fixing components before failure to maximize uptime and efficiency. So these are the way you can take the help of artificial intelligence in circular economy. Then global policy shifts driving the change. Why this has come, the circular economy? Industrial competition is there. So from subsidies to strategy, US Inflation Reduction Act and India's PLI schemes transform clean energy into competitive industrial policy. Now, you might be aware that under the production linked incentives scheme, Government of India provides certain incentives to the identified industries for installing production facilities in India. Now, if that is done in India, not only it encourages more efficient type of production, but it also encourages pardon me. Okay. So similarly, European Union's carbon border adjustment mechanisms, so CBAM, that implementation applies tariffs on high carbon imports, forcing global supply chain decarbonization. Then 24/7 carbon-free energy. Actually, the target is that we should be able to not require the carbon sink. So basically, we want the corporations to abandon annual offsets for hourly matching of energy consumption with local renewable generation. Then sustainable solutions for cities and industry. Circular energy systems. Data centers repurpose waste heat to provide free residential heating for surrounding neighborhoods, creating closed loop thermal efficiency. Then waste to energy innovation. Agricultural waste and plastic are converted into sustainable aviation fuel and green ammonia for fertilizers, turning problems into solutions. Then vehicle to grid integration. As you might have read in certain reports, around 19% of the vehicles, I was reading a report somewhere, that as of now, around 19% of the total vehicles being sold, they are electric vehicles. So now those EV models also function as mobile backup batteries, supporting homes and city grids during peak demand period. Looking ahead, the vision for 2030 is resilience. Again, the circular economy facilitates this resilience by building energy systems capable of withstanding extreme weather events and geopolitical disruptions through distributed generation and smart redundancy. Second is ensuring the green revolution reaches emerging markets through technology transfers. Basically, the idea is because a large percentage of population of the world actually lives in the emerging markets, so it has to be ensured that these green revolution or the availability of circular economy and the related technology that is provided to the emerging markets. How it can be done? Through technology transfers, capacity building, and decentralized microgrid deployment. Then competition also has a role, recognizing that this transition transcends environmentalism. It represents the defining economic and industrial race of the 21st century. Now, I just wanted to discuss the key principles of circular economy. There is some noise. Some noise, some disturbance is there. Okay. So, just a sec. Yeah. Yeah, sorry for that. Okay, so what I was trying to show you is what are the key principles of circular economy. So now the key principles, as I have been speaking on them for some time now, reduce, reuse, and recycle. These are the basic steps. The circular economy emphasizes the importance of minimizing resource consumption and waste generation. So, as can be seen from the earlier picture that I had shown, and I will put it again. Yeah, this one. So, promoting reuse. So, the key principle is the circular economy emphasizes the importance of minimizing resource consumption and waste generation. By reusing materials and recycling the products, we can extend the life cycle of resources and reduce the need for new raw materials. Again, if the earlier product can be reused, obviously the new resources need not be consumed. Then preserve. So because they need not be consumed, we are able to preserve them. So that is where the second point derives that point. So the second principle is preserving the natural capital. The aim is to enhance and preserve the world's natural resources by managing finite resources responsibly and balancing the flow of renewable resources. You see, if you see the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, that have been adopted by all the members of the UNO, they again also emphasize on managing the finite resources responsibly and balancing the flow of renewable resources. Third key principle is to optimize the resource yields. The circular economy seeks to keep products, components, and materials in use at the highest possible levels, ensuring that resources are utilized efficiently. Then the environmental benefits. The environmental benefit is combating climate change, transitioning to a circular economy. Transitioning to a circular economy can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Obviously, because the emphasis itself is on using those production technology which has got a minimum impact on the environment. So it can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions, material extraction and use account. Material extraction and use account for about 70% of global emissions. And circular strategies can help cut these emissions by up to 49% by 2050. Second environmental benefit is reducing pollution. By minimizing waste and promoting sustainable production practices, the circular economy helps to reduce air and water pollution, contributing to a healthier environment. As you see, particularly in this winter months, actually the level of AQI actually shoots up very sharply, particularly in those industrial belts. Delhi has been in news for all these wrong reasons. So ultimately, transitioning to the circular economy can help. So by minimizing waste and promoting sustainable production practices, the circular economy helps to reduce air and water pollution, contributing to a healthier environment. Then biodiversity conservation. The circular economy can mitigate habitat disruption and biodiversity loss by reducing the demand for new materials and promoting sustainable use practices. Then another benefit is job creation. Implementing circular economy practices can create millions of jobs globally. For instance, the ILO, International Labour Organization, estimates that circular activities like recycling and remanufacturing could generate 6 million jobs by 2030. Then it also promotes economic growth. A circular economy can drive innovation and competitiveness, potentially representing a revenue opportunity of over 1 trillion in Europe alone by 2050. Companies that adopt circular practices can benefit from reduced costs and increased efficiency, leading to sustainable economic growth. Coming to the PPT. So, the race for adopting the circular economy more meaningfully, actually that race is on. So, the transition is no longer a question of if, but how fast can we adopt it. So, by 2030, the nations and companies that lead in clean energy innovation will define global economic power for future generations. The green energy revolution isn't just reshaping our environment, it is rewriting the rules of industrial competitiveness, national security, and human prosperity. Obviously, when you are able to do, the industry is able to produce the products at a competitive rate, they will be able to sell it at a relatively cheaper price and then garner a market share. And in the long run, they will be able to profit from it. Secondly, again, as has been said in one of the previous slides, the geopolitical issues actually they go in favor of those countries who are relatively independent in maintaining their energy security. And then last point is, it is rewriting the rules of the human prosperity also. It adds to prosperity. So the future belongs to those who build it. And that future is renewable, resilient, and within our reach. Now, I thought that I'll just discuss those issues related to the basic type of climate risks that the climate risk that the globe faces. We have adopted this approach by classifying the climate risk into two types. One is physical risk and second is the transition risk. So if you can see it in the perspective of, a bank providing loans to the industries and the various other types of borrowers who are engaged into production facilities. So those production facilities like factories or warehouses, they are exposed to the physical risk of loss of physical assets such as factories, offices, houses, etc., which may have an impact on repayment capacity of the borrowers, thereby affecting the asset quality of the loan assets. So now, suppose a bank has given a loan to a company and they have established a cement factory, and that cement factory is located near the seashore. And because of the climate risks, the level of sea rises or the winds, actually they become more frequent and they have more speed. So there is a risk that production facility of the cement factory actually may get damaged. And because that company is dependent on the sales of that cement for making the repayment of the loans, obviously, if the factory itself gets impacted by the climate risk due to any heavy rain or tsunami or something, then the repayment capacity of the borrower, he can't repay the loan. So the banks are actually exposed to this type of physical risk. Second is the transition risk. Transition risk is basically the risk to repayment capacity of the borrower due to change in the government policies, customer preferences, change in technology, etc. Now, if you recall, sometime in 2022, Government of India actually came out with the directions to car manufacturers that you have to now, from 1st April 2022, if I remember correctly, these car manufacturers were given a mandate to manufacture cars of BS6 engines. Now, they had a facility that till 31st March was able to sell cars of the older versions, and now they have to come up with new type of engines. So this is a transition risk because government policy has says that you have to manufacture something with a certain level of efficiency, then you have to do it. So that is a transition risk. Similarly, customer preferences, depending on the availability of new products, the customer preferences change. Like, for example, use of banking services. Earlier, most of us went to bank branches for doing our transactions, but now we are able to use it either through internet or through mobile apps or some other, using technology, some other method we are able to use it. So the customer preferences have changed, and as a result, banks have to invest into the technology part now more, and keeping their apps updated, their portal updated. Similarly, change in technology, that also is a transition risk. Like BS6 engine example I had given earlier. Similarly, earlier we were using 5G technology, 4G technology, 2G, 3G technology, and now we have migrated to higher level of higher generation of technology. So accordingly, now there will be no market available for selling 3G technology based devices or 2G technology based devices. Nobody will purchase them. So these are type of the transition risks that banks that the industry faces, and through them the banks face, because they have given the loan, and if the repayment capacity of the borrowers is impacted, then obviously it hits the asset quality of the banks, and then it may hurt their long-term profitability. Now, so basically, if you relate these two type of risks, the physical risk and the transition risk, physical risk is today, and transition risk is the physical risk of tomorrow, or maybe after a decade, or maybe after 20 years. For example, I can give you example of there is a port called, say, Nhava Sheva port. There they have got huge cranes for lifting of those big vessels from the, suppose, trains or trucks, and put it into the ship, or the other way around, take it out. So now because that is a sea coast, winds are there. So due to the climate risk and change in the weather, the speed of those winds actually have increased. So the cranes which have been put 10 years earlier, they are not able to withstand the high speed of winds. So now the newer type of cranes have to be put in place, which can withstand larger speeds of the wind. So this is the impact of the climate risk. So I thought I'll just discuss. And secondly, if you have been following the initiatives taken by RBI on this, we had come out with a discussion paper on this, and we had sought views of the views from all the stakeholders, like banks, market participants, general public, academicians, everyone. So basically, we had sought our views that how to capture or calculate the climate risk in the riskiness calculation being done by the banks. For that, we need some data. So we have mandated some sort of data capturing by the banks of the nature of industry that they are giving loan to, and all those details are being covered. Then to handle the or to encourage the circular economy, some policies have been adopted by Government of India. One of the policies that they have come out with is zero effect and zero defect. Just a second. Go again. Yeah. So one of the policies is this. So zero defect, zero effect policy launched by Government of India's MSME Ministry is a national initiative encouraging MSMEs to achieve high quality. That means zero defect and minimal environmental impact, zero effect, through a certification system boosting competitiveness, sustainability, and exports for national growth with graded bronze, silver, and gold levels for continuous improvement. Now here, if you have been following closely, MSMEs actually, they play an important role in the overall economy of India. For example, the importance can be seen from the fact that after agriculture, MSMEs are the largest source of employment in the country. So, if I can share some data with you, we are having around 7 crore MSME units, which employ persons ranging from 1 to 5. So that they are a big source of employment. Secondly, they also contribute about 40% of industrial production, because the large manufacturers, they don't manufacture everything and anything. For example, if you take the example of is suppose Bajaj, who manufacture motorcycles, but they don't manufacture everything. They just manufacturing the engine or the frame of the body. But then smaller parts there like brake wire, clutch wire, or brakes, or any peripheral the parts, mirrors, or everything. For that, those things are supplied by the micro, small, and medium enterprises. They are called the MSMEs. So these MSMEs supply the smaller parts or the to the large manufacturers, and thus they are able to specialize. The MSMEs are able to specialize in the particular product, and the large buyer or the large manufacturer, he doesn't have to produce everything, because it may not be, they may not find it economical for them to do so. So MSMEs play a large role. Also in exports, about 40% of the exports done by Indians, by Indian economy, they are actually done by, just a second. So 40% of the exports are done by the MSMEs. So because of this importance, a separate MSME ministry has been created, and then various schemes are announced by the government for the welfare of these MSMEs, because ultimately these MSMEs also have their own issues. One is that they mostly work in the informal sector. They do not. They are mostly operated by one or two persons. So they have issues like not filing proper returns. As a result of that, banks are not able to understand their business model, and they are not able to provide the loans, which is the concept of information asymmetry. I'm sure you must have come across this term. So because of this information asymmetry, banks are not able to provide them the requisite amount of loans. Also, if you have seen, this also is seen from the fact that if you visit the website of Ministry of MSME, this msme.gov.in, you will find that around 50% of the MSMEs, actually, they are not able to get financing from banks, and they have to depend either on their own savings or borrowing from the relatives or family members or something, or from informal sources. Why? Because sufficient record keeping is not there. So that again is an important issue. They also face the issues related to delayed payments, because they are smaller players and they are supplying to a large company. So the large company, generally the tendency is to delay their payments. They will make the payments in 90 days, 120 days. And if you see the MSMEs, they have to purchase their raw materials, because that is small in quantity. So they have to purchase their raw materials in cash, and they have to pay in time, say within 30 days, 15 days. So that creates the liquidity gap between basically the cash conversion cycle, if you can say. The cash conversion cycle of the MSMEs actually is pretty long. So we have, RBI has come out with certain prescriptions to address that issue, but that can be discussed sometime later. So basically, government is trying to encourage. If you see it in the relationship with the circular economy, the MSME products, actually, Government of India is trying to encourage the zero defect and zero effect. Then secondly, the financial initiatives have also been taken. One is non-renewable sources of energy are part of the private sector lending. Another point actually important, which I have not written here, is that banks have been directed to provide of the total loan book 7.5% of the loans to the micro enterprises. So basically putting the two together, the Government of India initiatives and the financial initiatives being given, we expect that the MSMEs would be encouraged. Now here I'll just delve a couple of minutes on the issues related to priority sector lending. In the there is a concept of priority sector lending prescribed. Basically, those sectors which are relatively unserved and underserved, because credit actually is the need for improving the business. All the companies, all the banks, or not banks, all the companies, all the units, persons, everything, they need credit for acquiring the assets and then improving the business. So what to ensure the availability of sufficient credit, RBI has come out with instructions to the banks on providing loans to those sectors which are of national priority. So those sectors have been 7-8 sectors are there. They are defined. So and it has been prescribed that of the total loans that have been given by the banks, 40% of those loans have to go to the priority sector, and within that 40% limit, 18% has to go to agriculture, and 7.5% has to go to micro enterprises, which are part of the MSMEs that we were just discussing, and remaining whatever remains, like 25.5 beyond and up to 40. So 14.5% that can be given to the exporters or social infrastructure like schools, hospitals, then houses in the rural areas where non-renewable, sorry, I should have written it, renewable sources of energy, not non-renewable, renewable sources of energy. So then startups up to the loan amount of 50 crores and all. So under that, so indirectly we are trying to encourage the circular economy through providing financing through the priority sector lending guidelines to the renewable sources of energy. Now here the just a sec. I have come out of this. Yeah. Now, to encourage clean sources of energy and reducing the waste, Government of India has kept the following time-bound targets for itself for future. These are called Panchamrit targets. So first one is to achieve 500 gigawatt non-fossil capacity. By 2030. So producing 500 gigawatts of power through unconventional sources of energy. Then to get 50% of the energy from renewables by 2030. So what we were getting in 2005, so to improve the percentage to 50% of the energy from renewables by 2030. Then third is to cut 1 billion tons of emissions by 2030. Fourth is to reduce economy's carbon intensity by 45% by 2030. This is in comparison to the figures of 2005. And finally, the Panchamrit target is to reach net zero by 2070. So ultimately, we hope that we will not be adding to anything to the ecosystem. We will not be providing, will not be causing any harm and reach the net zero goals by 2070. Now here, now, yeah. Just a second. Yeah. So then, this would be the last slide probably. So here, the point is that we need to undertake continuous research in the area of the circular economy. And what are the areas of the continuous research? One is decoupling growth from resource consumption. Now, because the aim of the circular economy is to reduce reuse. So we want to minimize the resource consumption, but then growth has to be done. So then we have to take the two separately. The growth has to come from adoption of these circular economy approaches, and then the consumption of the resources has to be minimized. Second is focusing on reuse, repair, and recycle to minimize waste. And even if some waste is there, it can be used again as an input for another product. Then reduce material demand, like critical minerals for renewables. For example, these days the lithium batteries, so for that you need large quantum of lithium, but then that puts a heavy demand on the on those minerals. Then fourth area of continuous research would be to boost energy efficiency, like waste heat recovery. Some of the heat actually that we just release, though it can be used meaningfully and it can be used as a source or as an input for another industry. And that energy efficiency is expected also to create new jobs. Making the entire energy, another area of research would be to make the entire energy system more resilient, less carbon intensive, and sustainable by keeping minerals in use longer and designing out waste from the start. So the planning process, if I go to the that picture that I had shown you earlier, this one. So ultimately, it boils down to the fact that the design itself has to be, as you can see, the products have to be designed in such a manner that the process waste is minimized or reduced, and then the life cycle of the product is optimized, and the product is consumed in such a manner that it can be used and reused, and then there is a minimum wastage which can be again used as a recycle. So here I have just put a few points that key roles of circular economy in green energy transition. So while we make the transition to the green energy, how can the circular economy help? So the first point is to reduce the material demand. The massive expansion of solar, wind, and battery infrastructure requires critical minerals. So circular economy reduces reliance on virgin materials by extending product life and recycling components like solar panels and batteries. So again, that point of the circular economy, that picture that I had shown to you, that concept has been used here. Then boosting energy efficiency. So circular economy promotes better design, waste heat recovery, and smarter systems, directly lowering overall energy demand and increasing efficiency in industries like manufacturing. Then another role is it creates new value from waste. Waste streams like agriculture residue, used cooking oil, municipal solid waste can become energy sources, biogas, like biogas, sustainable fuels, reducing reliance on fossil fuels. And that is also specifically applicable in our case because we are importing a very high proportion, around 80% of our requirement of fossil fuels. Then it minimizes emissions and pollution. By reducing extraction, processing, and disposal of materials, circular economy significantly cuts greenhouse gas emissions and pollution associated with linear models. Again, as I had said earlier, linear models basically they put production, use, and throw. And on the other hand, if you look at the circular economy concept, they put the production, then minimizing the waste, then use and reuse and recycle. Then circular economy also enhances system resilience, localizing resource loops, reusing materials within regions. So it reduces dependence on volatile global supply chains, making energy systems more secure. And then finally, circular economy drives innovation and jobs. It fosters new business models, technologies like advanced recycling and employment in repair, refurbishment, and remanufacturing sectors. So, so now it can be seen that basically the circular economy actually revolves around these concepts, and then it helps both increasing the efficiency level within the economy, better use of the existing resources, lowering the consumption of newer materials, and leaving the resources for the future generations. So basically, these are some of the basic concepts I thought I'll share with you. And I think I have covered some basic concepts, and I hope that you found it useful. And I think I have covered. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, please, they are welcome.
Any question, dear participants, dear teachers? Any question, then he or she can ask to sir. Hello, anybody?
Good evening, sir. May I?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Is there any a mandate from government for circular economy? Any sort of conversion or mandate or policy or something?
No, that mandate is not there, but then facilitating policies have been created. For example, I was giving the example of zero effect, zero defect. So there, an assessment is done by Government of India, Ministry of MSME, and then those institutions or those factories which are able to come up to the level of standards, they are provided some financial incentive. So that is more of a positive sort of encouragement instead of a negative encouragement.
Okay, sir.
Any other question?
Good evening, sir.
Ji, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sir. I am Dr. Pratap Lalwani from Akola. This was, sir, most valuable information. So, can you please, sir, send this PPT?
Dr. Okay, I'll request you to.
Okay, sir. I will share with everyone.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Any other?
Good evening, sir. Sir, my question is that could we apply these circular economy practices among the student?
This is students can use it for clarification of their concepts, but then it is more of use in the industry, the manufacturing industry, basically.
Okay, sir.
And of course, you can always encourage your students to become entrepreneurs and then adopt these practices.
Yes, sir. Exactly. My question is that at the startup level, some students are looking for the incubation center. Does it help them to promote their product or concept they want to do in future?
Absolutely, it does help. And then the point is, in the long run, it is the entrepreneurs actually who come up with new ideas, and then if they are able to adopt it, suddenly there is an increase in efficiency. For example, I'll give you the example of, say, Ola and Uber.
Yes, sir.
And it was not there. So there is a traveler standing at the railway station or at the airport, and there is a taxiwala who is without any passenger. So both of them need each other. So this software actually solved the problem of both. So that is how actually I would you would be doing it, but then the idea is to encourage the students to think creatively.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other question for participants? Teachers? Research scholar? Any question? Any question, sir? Any question? Okay. Sir, may I ask one question, sir?
Ji, please.
सर किसी कोई गवर्नमेंट कोई स्कीम है जिसके तहत अपन ग्रीन एनर्जी के थ्रू कोई बिजनेस अपन स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं और बहुत हेल्प मिल सके सभी को?
ऐसा है कि स्कीम्स तो हैं ही, और उसमें अपनी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एमएसएमई है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट है, बट मुझे स्पेसिफिक स्कीम का पता नहीं है बिकॉज आई डोंट रिप्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट में, मैं काम नहीं करता हूँ. लेकिन आई विल रिक्वेस्ट दैट यू कैन विजिट देयर वेबसाइट्स. मोस्ट ऑफ दी स्कीम्स हैव बीन प्रोवाइडेड इन देयर वेबसाइट्स. और दूसरा एक और मैं बोलूंगा आपको कि each state has got a state level bankers committee, SLBC.
Okay.
And SLBC have got their websites. So state level bankers committee for Madhya Pradesh, they have got a website of SLBC Madhya Pradesh. So they have put all the government schemes at one place.
Okay, sir. SLBC, sir.
SLBC, State Level Bankers Committee.
Okay, sir. SLBC. Thank you,
So,
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I think that should be able. They should should be able to solve some.
Okay. Oh. Any other thing? Any questions?
So, can you just share, Dr. Okay, the concept of the participants and all, just in briefly for my information?
Hello.
What I was saying is that I can see that there are 62, 63 participants. So this is like is this a regular thing, training program that you conduct, or what is the initiative like?
Sir, this is a training program of sponsored by AICTE Atal, and we have applied for this course for training program, and we have selected, and our proposal has approved. That's why we are conducting this program, and we got some grant from AICTE to conduct this program.
So who are the audience like?
The audience are teachers. They are regular teachers and guest faculties and research scholars and postgraduate students.
Okay. Including from Dr. Harisingor University students also?
Some are from Dr. Harisingor, and all our participants are joined from all over India, sir.
Okay. Okay. So that is a good initiative. And actually, I'm not a teacher, so I don't know how impactful it was, how informative it was, but I have tried to provide you some information.
But it's for very it is very informative, sir.
Okay, thank you. That is a good feedback.
Any other question? Okay. Okay, Shikha, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So as we come to the concluding part of this session of our FDP, it is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks. On behalf of the organizing committee and all the participants, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Mr. Hemant Soni, for delivering such an insightful, thought-provoking, and inspiring session. Your insightful explanation of the real-world examples and emphasis on sustainability and economic development have added immense value to this faculty development program. The session was both thought-provoking and practically relevant. We sincerely thank you, sir, for sharing your expertise, valuable time, and knowledge with us, which was truly enriched our learning experience. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So shall I disconnect, Dr. Lokesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.